If asking for your price, like your higher fees, that makes you feel greedy or awkward or uncomfortable, the problem isn't in your price, it's actually in understanding value. Truthfully, a lot of speakers fall short of understanding this clear point. If you get this figured out, it would be a game changer. I find that most speakers, unfortunately, they undervalue themselves, not because they lack skill, but because they're fearing being judged. I don't want someone to hear my price and go, oh, you're not worth that. So what you don't do is quote a higher fee, which really you can probably deliver on no problem, right? They confuse confidence with arrogance and value with ego. It's not about ego. It's about realizing what you bring to the table. And truthfully, when you can present your value at what it's worth, you find more people will take it. It's why folks, they don't want the cheap bag. They want the nice, expensive bag, right? They want the nice, expensive car. Is it worth that much more? Is the metal better metal? No, but there's a value to it. When you understand that, people are happy and desire to pay higher fees for something they see as that value. So this video, I'm going to show you how to change what you're actually worth. Like maybe not changing your worth, but frame it differently without sounding greedy or pushy or salesy, but by reframing how you think and how you talk about money as a speaker quoting your fees. So as we go through these steps, just take a note of them and unpack them and apply them as soon as you can. Like I don't care what you do or how it takes place, but if you take this information, do nothing with it, oh my gosh, you're falling short, right? The first thing is this: greed is about taking, but value is about solving. There's a different piece of language I want you to grasp with that. Whenever you're in a space of being greedy, you're taking something, right? I, as a speaker, I'm taking something if I'm being greedy. But speakers typically, let's gauge it on you, aren't greedy. You're also not taking, you're giving so much. Value is the opposite. It's about giving. It's about solving a problem. And you have to think about this in your life. Where do you have problems that you would ideally want to have solved? And on those problem side, are they actually high or expensive problems to solve? Because truthfully, if you don't realize this one thing, when you see that you have someone who could solve a problem, but the problem, we'll call it the rate, what they're charging, doesn't seem to match the problem. Like if the solution doesn't match the problem, you don't believe in the solution. Here's an example. If I go, man, I really want to, I want to fix my marriage because the marriage is failing. Do you believe that a $99 ebook is going to save your marriage? I'm being dead serious. $99. You think so? Or if somebody goes, look, I'm a $15,000 marriage specialist therapist. We work together for 3 months and it's $15K. Which one do you think is going to solve your problem? $15K, right? And I'm not saying it because I know it for sure. I'm just saying if you look at it, the problem is when I look at a solution in the marketplace, if the charging rate's too low, I will not believe it can solve my problem if it doesn't match. So what most people don't realize is when you're out there being greedy, you think you're not taking from somebody, you're giving them something great. And when you present it at the right value point, they actually believe that what you have can solve their problem. That's where value comes in, providing solutions to problems. So greed focuses on essentially what you get from the problem or from the situation. So if you're trying to take, all you're thinking about is what can I get from this audience, this group, but it's not about that when you're a speaker. The goal is to go, hey, what can I give? Like what can I put out into the world that they can gain and can solve their problem? Are they having problem getting people to get on sales calls and close deals? Great. What do you think they're willing to pay to solve that problem? Or what is that problem worth to them to solve? That's where you have to start positioning yourself and going, wow, I have this solution. They have a problem. Does my solution help their problem and solve it? Yes. What is that value? Let's charge that. You don't go, I don't want to make them feel like I'm charging too much. No. Don't worry about it. Let them make the choice on whether or not that rate is too much and let them negotiate with you as needed, but quote yourself at the value it is to solve the problem they have. When you anchor pricing to outcomes, greed disappears. And this forms a conversational kind of process from there on. It's a different way of making everything unpack because now you're having a conversation and solving a problem. Greed disappears completely from the entire discussion. You're in a position where things are now talking about how you can solve the problem that they really want solved, and they're willing and happy to pay for that. High fees are justified when problems are expensive. Repeat this. High fees are justified when problems are expensive. So if you're having trouble quoting a higher fee, start thinking about what is the thing that they're having a problem with, and does my thing solve it? And do they believe it can help them? If so, what's it worth? Charge that rate, and above that, not just to do it above, but let them talk you down. But the more you start looking at the realm of business, it sucks to play in the middle. Either be in the bottom or the top, but don't play in the middle. Be at the top of your game, charge at the top of your game. Now, point 2, Hey, I hope you're enjoying this video right now. Now, I want to let you know that I developed a speaker quiz that reveals what your speaker type is, the strength of your type, and more importantly, how to capitalize on that type to build an impactful and income-producing speaking business. To get this quiz and take it and get the information you need, simply hit the link you see below in the description, or you can wait till the end of the video to head over and check it out. All right, that's it. Let's get back to it. We'll call it why speakers undervalue themselves, and they don't even do it intentionally. Emotional attachment to the audience budget is where a lot of speakers struggle. You are emotionally attached to what the budget of the event is when it's not your job to pay attention to. Now, do you want the gig? There's a difference if you really want the gig because you want to get some notoriety, you want to get a kind of an in, maybe you really care about these people as a heartfelt, that's one thing. But if it's something where you provide a service and they need it, you can't be emotionally connected to the budget and what they have. Fear of rejection cannot stop you from quoting your typical fee. And if it does, there are ways to negotiate it with integrity to get the fee that you believe and they believe is the best fit for that event. So when I go and charge $25,000, this is not that I'm randomly doing it. There's a value that I bring to that stage that their audience will walk away from that at some point will be tangible in communication, in connection, in loving the connection to the company. Maybe it's an actual money made from people doing better at their job, more effective, more efficient, whatever it may be. There will be a tangible outcome on the backside of that. If you don't pay attention to that, you'll lose sight of it completely because you're focused purely on what's their budget. Am I going to price myself out? Don't worry about that. You position yourself the way you need to. Someone will see that, and I promise you'll get across the line when it's the right time to do so. And imposter syndrome sometimes comes disguised as humility for folks. Like you go, oh, it's okay. I'm not worried about the price. So I no big deal. No, I just want to serve. Like that language. I've heard that many times. And believe me, I started there. It doesn't pay the bills. What happens is the humility, you're disguising a sense of imposter syndrome, a lack of confidence somewhere. You don't, for some reason, believe that what you have is great enough for them. And so what you do is go, no, it's no big deal. I never want, I used to say this. I never want price to separate me from doing my job on a stage. I used to say that. That's not true. I'm being honest, back then I would say it, but really I'm like, I don't want someone to reject me and I would just, make the price an adjustment. It's no big deal, right? But now I go, no, this is my fee. This is what I do. I practice so well to be this good. This is my fee at this, right? And so with that, I'm not worried about saying like, oh, it's no big deal. I'll find a way to make it work. I will not. I'm sorry. I love what I do, but I want to make sure I'm doing it in a place I'm appreciated. And also I feel that I've got my rate and also keeping what's called fee integrity. I don't want some client in the future to get charged something but go, hey, I heard this company only paid this because I was all over the place on fees because I was being having humility, not humil, having humility in the conversation. Realistically, I was just not confident in myself. And most speakers, they're essentially doing that in pricing from insecurity instead of impact. Purely price it based on what your impact is and the outcome is for the individuals you are talking to. This assures that you're actually in a position where when you go up there, they are looking forward to having you up there. They can't wait to see you up there. And if you don't feel, just so you're clear, if you don't feel like you can charge that much, get better. Get better, like practice a little bit more, get better refined stories, get better at storytelling, get better frameworks, better structure, better delivery, get better. To where what happens is you outwork the pace of discomfort. You outwork your lack of confidence to where when you get that moment in time to show up there, you're ready to rock and roll, locked and loaded. You're not worried about, well, what if they don't? Doesn't matter anymore. You do your job, you'll kill it, okay? Point number 3, anchor your fee to business results. Now, when I say business results, this is going to be the outcome. But realistically, most companies that are paying large amounts, they're having people come on stage to speak to their entire group of people. But their group is there. They paid for them to be there. They're paying for the hotels, typically paying for the airfare. They're paying a lot to get their butts in those seats. Why? Because they want to plant a seed to have those people go out later on and make the company more money. That's all companies' jobs are to do, to make income and make profit. You can't make profit if you don't have a good team to do it, and you can't make impact if you don't have profit. You go out of business, right? So the idea is I got to be in a position where I'm trying to say, how do I make this something where I'm anchoring my fee to their results in the business? So when I charge this, here's the outcome of what will happen when you bring me in as a speaker. If you don't have this mentality, you'll lose sight on how you're actually making the sale of you being booked as a speaker. So shift your language from my fee is to what this creates for your organization is blank. Like it's a whole different way of looking at it. My fee is, or hey, what this does for audiences I speak to is blank. And then talk about revenue, retention, culture, leadership, performance. They're premium problems that you can solve that people go, oh, great. So if it goes, hey, what I create for your organization is a team of people who are dialed into your company's culture, who have top tier leaders who are able to work in the dark so they can lead amazingly in the light. It amplifies all of your team's ability to operate at their peak performance with the mentality of I've done too much work in the dark to lose in the light. That's what dark work is. That's what I talk to. And it has nothing to do with, here's my fee. It's like, here's the thing I'm going to have happen. Do they see it as valuable? Great, let's rock. Here's my fee for that. It's clear ROI. It makes it easier to get the yes out of somebody. When you're dancing around back and forth, playing on like, here's my fee, and I can also do a couple of these things, and I like to speak, and I'm really good, and I motivate people, and they like me. Nobody cares. It sounds bad to say it that way. If you're saying you speak, they're assuming you speak. Now it's a matter of what do you speak about different than every other person that's a speaker. Why should I pay you more? Why should I have you in front of my folks? And that's your job to figure out when you can position yourself as that thing you do that is precise, like a scalpel. You should not be a jack of all trades. Be a scalpel in what you do. I do this very well. Now you position yourself as rare and valuable, which makes that scarcity and rarity become something they want to pay for, especially if it solves their problem, okay? Number 4, detach emotion from the number. Your fee it's not a moral statement. It's a business statement, right? And most folks think that when they charge a high rate that they're in this realm of being like they're greedy, we talked about earlier, or I'm trying to pull from something. No, it's not an emotional thing. It's a fee you've set aside that position you in a couple ways. Now, when I chose my fee, I looked at the marketplace and said, well, who is in this marketplace that provides a solution similar to mine or in the same kind of realm of people that I want to serve? Great. What are they typically charging? That's the rate they charge. Great. How do they show up? Like, what are the actual inclusions that come with them as a speaker? I saw that in that. Okay, great. Like, what's my fee? About $15K. Let's make it 25. I went from 15 right to 25K as a speaker. Now, I climbed a lot of levels to get to 15,000, but I jumped that kind of big leap there. It was a reason, though, because I realized that I knew what I needed to do differently to get that rate. I could see it every single day. And so what I was looking at was now I got to figure out how do I position myself where when I'm selling this me as a speaker, I'm solving their problem at a level that is worth 25,000 to them. Not that it's about the number specifically, but it positions them to go, yeah, and myself to go, yeah, that guy, if he's charging that, he's either stupid or he's worth it. And I'm not stupid. Right? I can talk to the things, I can have conversations. And almost every speech I give now, they go, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for doing what you do. Why? Because other people charge the exact same thing and they don't deliver the same way. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best in the world, but I'm pretty damn good and better than a lot of folks that do what I do. Now, I've focused on that. I've given my all to that. I've spent so much time in the dark practicing repetitions. I just recorded my 1,340th straight weekday podcast I share out after doing 1,333 straight days of a 90-second, I call it a nightly 90 video. So we're talking like 9 years straight of a video every single day, just talking, some between 5 and 7 minutes, most between 5 and 7 minutes. Why do I say this? Because I know that when I go out to do what I do, I have put in the reps. So when I'm positioning myself against everybody else and seeing what it is, it's not an emotional thing. It's not like I need to make this, but here's where I want to position my value so I am seen with the level of quality I can provide as a speaker. It's the same way you have to think about it. If you're not there yet, get yourself there. Work to get there. So for you, it's about being calm and neutral and delivering your statement of what the price is with professionalism. Because it signals that when you are calm and you are neutral and you just share it, it sounds professional. You come off like confident and it feels much better as opposed to going, well, my fee is 25,000 and but I mean, if you can't do that, just let me know. No, my fee is $25,000 per keynote. What if it's 30 minutes? If I have to fly from my home and get on a stage and serve your people, if it's 5 minutes or 45 minutes or 65 minutes, same rate. It's that one keynote. Matter of factly, because the value I bring is going to be what it needs to be to have that be my rate. And I won't go from not my rate, right? Confidence in pricing builds trust, not resistance, my man, my woman. And the idea is when you have pricing confidence, it doesn't build this the sense of like, I don't know if I can pay for it. They go, wow, okay. Like it feels different when somebody quotes you at a level, but like the look in their eyes is dialed in. When it's confident, when it's locked in, they are like, oh, all right, I can trust this. Let's go. They don't question it if you don't question it. Now, the last point of this is you must create alignment, not pressure. The right clients, they will not flinch at your fair value. Like that's the truth. When I've gone and quoted it, I rarely nowadays have anybody come and go like, oh, that's more I thought. Because they know that I'm doing this at a high level with high brands and high companies. When they hear the rate, it sounds about right. Like, oh yeah, it makes sense. We're going to be upping the rate here pretty soon. But when I quote them at 25, like, yeah, sounds about right. No problems, right? So if it's not aligned, it's okay. It's a power position you get to hold. It just means that more people want you that can't get you. But position yourself so you have more and more of those conversations coming. And I promise you, when you get to that point where someone goes, all right, let's do it, now you're in a new echelon. You're going to be seen at the level of these other companies that can go, oh, that person's vetted by that company at that rate, that it makes sense, that they're worth that. Cool. That's the fee. Let's pay it. And that's the conversations that happen. So detach from the thought of like fear and anxiety, because detachment, it communicates self-respect and authority. When you detach from the feeling of anxiety of sharing something, and I don't know, like when you just, here's what it is, and you're matter of fact to it, there's a certain sense of self-respect they see you carry. And when somebody sees you carry that respect, they believe you more than just the words come out of your mouth, but the nonverbal cues that come along with it. They are paramount. So charging what you're worth, it's not greedy. It's responsible. If you want help positioning your value and your pricing with confidence, like I'm talking about, head to speaktofreedom.com. I unpack all of this in our company. I teach all of our clients step by step exactly how to do this. No guesswork, clear and dialed in. And then you can be the person in that position to quote yourself at a rate that when they say yes, you will be taken back because holy crap, it just happened. Head to speaktofreedom.com. If not, I'll see you in the next video.